Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're diving into the Everyday Rupee Compilation '02 Master Script. Look, we're going on a bit of a journey today to plug some serious hidden leaks in your wealth. We're going to clear up 3 massive mutual fund myths that, honestly, could be secretly costing you lakhs of rupees without you even realizing it. Whether you're just starting out or you've got a solid portfolio going, these concepts, they're absolutely critical.
So, picture this. You're comparing 2 mutual funds. One has a starting price of 10 rupees, and the other sits way up at 500. Your gut probably screams that the 10 rupee fund is the ultimate bargain, right? It feels like you're getting in on the ground floor. Well, actually, scratch that. Today, we're going to prove your gut completely wrong.
Here's the agenda. We're tackling 3 major traps. Number 1, the NAV discount trap. Number 2, the fee you never feel. And number 3, direct versus regular plans. Let's make your money work based on math, not marketing.
Okay, jumping right into Section 1, the NAV discount trap, net asset value explained.
So, NAV, net asset value. I know, it sounds super complex, but it's literally just the total assets of a fund divided by its number of units. That's the whole shebang. It's simply a daily price tag for a single unit. It is definitely not a discount, and it for sure isn't some 5-star quality review of how good the fund is. You really need to think of it less like a fancy designer label and way more like a basic grocery receipt.
Imagine placing 2 funds side by side. Fund A is sitting right there at 10 rupees, and Fund B is way up at 500. We all kind of carry over this terrible habit from the stock market where a low price feels like a steal, so it makes us think Fund A has miles and miles of room to grow just because the number is tiny.
But what actually happens when both of these funds have a great year? Let's say they experience an identical, totally realistic 20% growth. You know, this 20% growth has absolutely zero to do with their starting price. It just means the underlying companies are doing well.
See, if you drop 10,000 rupees into Fund A and 10,000 into Fund B, that 20% growth hands you the exact same 12,000 rupees at the end of the year. Fund A's price tag went from 10 to 12. Fund B went from 500 to 600. The math proves it. The starting label never changed your actual financial destiny.
The reality is, new fund launches often highlight a low NAV of 10 rupees specifically to sound like a bargain. But the number on the label? That was never the point. The compounding growth underneath it is what absolutely matters. So when you're comparing funds, look at the track records, look at consistency, look at fees. Just ignore that daily price tag.
And hey, speaking of fees, here is Section 2, the fee you never feel, understanding expense ratios. This is basically the silent killer of your returns. The expense ratio is a percentage of your total investment that gets charged every single year to cover administration, management, marketing, all that stuff. But here is the massive catch. Because it's deducted automatically before you ever even see your returns, there's no bill in the mail, no alert on your phone. It is completely 100% invisible. So picture 2 identical mutual funds, but one charges just 1% more in its expense ratio. Now, on paper, 1% feels like a rounding error, right? I mean, you probably wouldn't even bend over to pick up a 1 rupee coin on the street. But investing is a game of decades. If we invest 1 lakh rupees, growing at an identical 12% before fees, watch how viciously that seemingly tiny 1% gap compounds against you over a 20-year timeline.
And boom! After 2 decades, that 1% difference has quietly swallowed several lakhs of your potential wealth. Why? Because the bank took its cut first, every single year. The money they took in year 1 literally never had the chance to compound for you over the next 19 years. It's wild.
Checking a mutual fund's expense ratio takes maybe 10 seconds of a Google search. Failing to do it? That's a mistake you're going to pay for until you retire. A fee you don't notice today is still a fee draining your wealth for decades to come.
Which brings us to Section 3, direct versus regular plans, the cost of default choices.
So how do we actually avoid these fees in the real world? It all comes down to the actual button you click when you go to buy a fund, choosing between direct and regular plans. Guys, direct and regular plans are the exact same funds. They hold the exact same stocks managed by the exact same human being. But the regular plan, which you usually buy through a bank or a distributor, quietly charges you more every single year, forever, just to pay a middleman's commission. The direct plan just cuts that middleman entirely out. Regular plans typically tack on an extra half to a full percent to their expense ratio. And, well, we literally just saw what a 1% difference does over 20 years. It is a massive premium you're paying for doing absolutely nothing differently with the money inside that fund.
Now look, to be completely fair here, regular plans do exist for a reason. A good distributor or a good advisor can offer real guidance on planning, picking the right funds for your specific goals, and giving you ongoing support. That is a professional service, and professional services naturally cost money.
So, the real question you have to ask yourself isn't just a generic, direct versus regular. It's highly personal. Are you actually getting bespoke, ongoing guidance that is worth sacrificing lakhs of rupees over your lifetime? Or are you just paying it by default because your banking app pre-selected it for you? If you're comfortable researching funds yourself, a direct plan gets you the identical fund for meaningfully less money.
Moving to our final section, math over marketing, the core takeaways.
Let's bring this all together. The goal for us here is super simple: math over marketing. NAV is just a price tag, not a crystal ball. Tiny fees, they compound into massive wealth leaks, and direct plans get you the exact same engine for a fraction of the cost. The mutual fund itself was never the expensive part. The toll road you took to get there was.
The financial industry makes billions banking on the fact that you won't look at the fine print, but today you took that power back. I'd absolutely love to know which of these three concepts blew your mind the most today. Was it the illusion of the NAV price tag, the silent drain of the expense ratio, or maybe the regular plan premium? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and keep making those smart, math-based financial choices.